Internet giant Yahoo has been hit by a massive data breach. Hackers stole information from about 500 million user accounts. That's right, 500 million accounts. This breach happening back in late 2014. The company says it did not include credit card data, but it does believe the attack was state-sponsored. Other information was shared, names and addresses and birth dates as well. Yahoo notifying users potentially affected by this and encouraging folks to change their passwords as well. Here in studio, Claudiu Popa is my guest, cybersecurity expert. Boy, oh boy, this is huge for Yahoo. What's going on? What do you make of it?
It is. It wasn't entirely unexpected, and as you might expect in light of the Verizon merger or buyout of that data, it really has been in the cards for a few weeks or months now, because we've seen allegations that 200 million accounts were breached just a couple of months ago. And so that's been a rumor, which is now about to be confirmed by Yahoo, or has been confirmed by Yahoo, as to the 500 million accounts, which is a lot.
If this happened back in 2014, I'm a little confused why we're only hearing about it, conclusively now, 2 years later.
Well, these things are tacit events. So when a hacker or a hacking party goes in and steals information, the information doesn't make itself known. Yahoo can still have the information while a copy has been made and taken away. And so they only find out about it when the hackers contact them and say, hey, you know what, it looks like there's a merger coming up. You wouldn't want this to make the news, would you? And how much is it worth to you? And obviously that kind of talks have likely failed if in fact they took place. But normally when a hacker has access to that kind of information, it's up to them to demonstrate that they have it. And so in this case, they've ostensibly posted some of it online to demonstrate that they have in fact possession, or that data is in their custody. Our concern today is about the number of Canadian users whose data has been compromised. Because in Canada, as you know, we have very strict privacy laws. We care about privacy a lot. And Yahoo itself has said that it has millions of Canadian users.
Sure.
How many of those Canadian users are impacted is unclear. But we know that over the past few years, Yahoo has made a concerted effort to collect more information from its users than it did before, possibly because it wanted to better tailor their services to those users, or possibly because it wanted to be a more salient acquisition target.
So for folks who are watching us now at home who have Yahoo accounts, of course, the company is saying you need to change your password, and that is very important, of course, immediately. In terms of the information that might have been leaked, no credit card information, but we're talking about things like birth dates and possibly addresses and other things that might have been leaked.
Other significant things that can contribute to identity breaches. So
identity theft
is a very big deal. So this is an identity theft. So whoever stole these accounts has in fact stolen 500 million identities. So just to be clear about that, these are digital identities that have been stolen. Now, in addition to address and contact information, birth dates and things of that nature, which constitute personal information in Canada, there's often other accounts. So other accounts are linked to Yahoo's account. So in fact, whoever has this information might also know Twitter accounts and Gmail accounts, some other ways of contacting these people on social media. Let's also not forget that many, if not most people, share passwords across websites and across social media. So, in fact, if these user accounts and their corresponding passwords have been compromised, then potentially someone has access to more than just their Yahoo account. Could be other websites like Yahoo, like Twitter, like banking, perhaps.
One other thing, too, what we have here, Claudio, is this idea of it being state-sponsored and what that actually means. Yahoo's saying there was a country responsible, hackers tied to a state responsible for this. What does that say to you?
Well, that is an idea, as you say. It's certainly, I want to say, it's trendy. Whenever you see large breaches, to say, you know what, we couldn't have fought that because it was a state-sponsored attack.
Right.
It was, in fact, so massive and so well-funded that there was no way for us to combat that. But the fact is that Yahoo has been struggling with security issues for years. And so it didn't just happen in 2014. My own account on Yahoo, for example, was compromised at least 7 years ago. And that it was fully secured. So it certainly had no issues with respect to lax security practices on my part. But they've had trouble responding to these breaches, and that's been an ongoing concern over the past few years. So the key point here is that organizations have really no way of telling whether, in fact, it was a state-sponsored attack. First of all, you don't know who's paying for it,
sure,
and how it was funded. And secondly, you know that no attack actually comes from the actual home or office of the person who's attacking. They always go through proxy servers. They bounce around the internet many times. So if in fact it looks like it came from China or from Iran or Iraq or Afghanistan
or Russia,
because that's again a popular origin or source for these things, it could have originated in Canada or in the United States. I mean, these servers are both publicly and commercially available to be used for hacking attacks. So if in fact it was someone in the US that wanted to hack Yahoo, it would make sense for them to bounce off a Russian server. Now, of course, they still have to present the evidence, because the FBI has not said that in fact it had anything to do with any state-sponsored attack. Yahoo would have to present the evidence if in fact they thought that it was justifiable to blame a country as opposed to just a hacking group. And we have not heard about this hacking group before.
Claudiu, thank you for coming in studio and walking us through some of this here. Appreciate it.
No problem.